So welcome to this video, and this video is about the music industry and how it is being used to broadcast some very, very dark and disturbing messages, particularly and especially to young girls. Now, most people are now familiar with Billie Eilish and the nature of her videos and her music. One of her recent songs is called All the Good Girls Go to Hell. And if you've seen any of her videos, any of her past 5 videos, then you'll know that the message being put out is very dark. In fact, it's a satanic message. If you watch the video Bury a Friend, it is basically demonstrating demonic possession in a very serious way. It's not light-hearted or fun. It's very accurately portraying demonic possession, and it's almost like the movie from I think it was the 70s or 80s called The Exorcist, which is a horror movie essentially about a girl being possessed by demons. And the video for Bury a Friend by Billie Eilish is in fact more intricately portraying demonic possession. But you have to remember that her fans are young girls, on average between the age of 10 and 18. Billie Eilish herself is now 18 years old, I think, but her fans are very young, and she's also reaching out to even younger fans, trying to get her message to younger kids. And you just have to watch her last 5 videos. And of course Billie Eilish is cool and she's fashionable and she's on all the talk shows and she's doing her own thing, and everyone says how great it is that she's expressing herself. But just look at the videos, look at the message her videos are putting out to young girls. Just look at the message, because this message is going into the brains of millions and millions of kids across the world. She is big. Her YouTube videos have been watched over 1 billion times. Her last 5 YouTube videos alone have been watched over 1 billion times. Now, if you look at these videos, which I don't recommend you do at night time because some of them are a bit disturbing, you'll see that this is really a very worrying thing, that these videos are being seen by young kids. Now, if you can also read the lyrics to her songs, to her last, the last 5 songs she's produced or that she's released, and read the lyrics, and you will see there is no positive message there. In fact, the message is dark, demonic, and very disturbing. But kids are listening to these words over and over and over again in their head. And, I have 4 young children. And 2 of my daughter's friends, one's age 6, I think, and one is age 9, they have all of Billie Eilish's songs on their iPods. And their parents would consider themselves to be quite spiritual people. Yet their children, their 6-year-old daughter and their 9-year-old daughter, have all of Billie Eilish's songs on their iPod. Now, if you think I'm overreacting, listen to the songs or read the lyrics of the songs and ask yourself, would you want these words, these ideas and images, these understandings going into your 6-year-old's brain or your 9-year-old's brain? Because that's the age. These are just 2 ordinary children, and their iPod has got all of Billie Eilish's songs on them. So they are reaching young kids, and her videos are even worse. So that's just Billie Eilish. But she's not alone. At the American Music Awards, I think it was last month, maybe November. Yeah, I think it was November. At the American Music Awards, Billie Eilish performed All the Good Girls Go to Hell. And she was surrounded by flames, and the audience were loving it. And at the same award show, the artist called Kesha performed the song called Raising Hell, which again is about the allure of darkness, the allure of being bad, the allure of destruction, and kind of anti-Christian. It's an anti-Christian message as well. So the video to that song, Raising Hell, is pretty brutal also. And it's really basically a message against goodness, against purity, which is really what Christianity stands for, even though we all know that the religion itself has failed miserably in propagating purity and holiness. But still, these videos by Billie Eilish and by Kesha are really anti-purity. They're about badness, embracing the dark side. Remember, kids are listening to this. Embracing the dark side is not something that's cool. When you know where the dark side leads, and when you know what's going on, as I do, when you know about ritual abuse and the horrible things which are happening to kids in the name of darkness, in the name of evil and satanic worship, then you know that these messages really are not good for young kids. And I think at the same Music Awards, the American Music Awards, an artist named Halsey, Halsey, won an award at the very same awards. Now her latest release is called Graveyard. And if you watch the video and listen to the lyrics very carefully to understand what message they're putting out, then the message is very dark. It's about following the darkness all the way to where it goes. Now, I'm not just paranoid or worried about these things. I've studied these types of messages. I've been studying messages and subliminal suggestions in music and video and film for nearly 17 years now or more. And I understand the symbolism and the metaphors used. I'm very knowledgeable in the realm of these subtle and insidious messages that come through music and film and television. So the video for Halsey's song Graveyard is again leading children into this state of consciousness, this state of mind where they embrace darkness. They want to pursue darkness rather than purity, joy, happiness, light, kindness. It's about pursuing the darkness and seeing where the darkness goes. And this is obviously evident in Billie Eilish's songs. But this song by Halsey, this song Graveyard, is a perfect example of of music and video being used in a very crafted and careful way, specifically to lead people into darkness. And this is very, very concerning for the kids, because these three artists are not alone. I've been researching in very great detail the number of other artists who are also putting out a message, and I've been finding many, especially ones aimed at young girls. Another one is the artist called Aura, AU/RA, Aura. One of her biggest songs was called The Panic Room, and again it has a very disturbing and almost horrific video designed to create fear and this sense of darkness. Another song called Dance in the Dark by Aura, which basically sings over and over again, everybody's scared, so dance in the dark, dance with the dark, party with your fears, and dance in the dark, dance in the dark. And all the time she's surrounded by people wearing black going round and round and round her, which also has symbolic significance, which I won't go into here, but it has a satanic significance, the idea of people circling round and round and round, all wearing black. It's something to do with Satanism, but I won't go into details here. So that's the artist Aura. And then there's another artist called Aurora, very similar to Aura, but it's Aurora, like the princess in Cinderella, who casts a spell. Aurora. And she's very popular, but her messages are littered with subtle insinuations towards negativity, pessimism, darkness, embracing death, embracing violence, and embracing blood. And it's hard to put into words, but the theme of blood is very prevalent in her videos. And listen you really have to listen or read the lyrics very carefully, because of course this sounds like an anxious parent listening to these songs, but I'm not anxious for my kids because they don't absorb these messages. So I'm not remotely worried for my own children because I've taught them how to discern between positive messages and negative messages. I'm concerned for the millions of kids out there who are listening to these songs, absorbing the words and watching the videos. And when it's cumulative, as it is in the music industry, I cannot explain, I cannot tell you how prevalent it is now. The negativity and pessimism and darkness in pop music is overwhelming. Go through the top 10 in your country and pick out 3 or 4 songs, and then go and Google the lyrics and ask, are they positive? Is a message positive? Are they giving out encouraging words and inspirational words? Or are they pointing towards darkness, death, despair, pessimism? And this is a theme I've noticed for quite a while now. And Billie Eilish is really spearheading this movement towards young girls, this reaching out towards young girls and drawing them into this world of darkness. And essentially it's satanic. You know, there's a reason why these songs have the word hell in them. And there's another song in the American charts at the moment called Good as Hell. And the lyrics aren't particularly dark, but over and over she repeats, I'm good as hell. And that's kind of interesting when you compare it to the message of Billie Eilish, who's singing all the good girls go to hell. It's kind of a coincidence, you would say, that these songs have found their way into the charts at the same time, especially when you consider Kesha's song Raising Hell. And then you've got what's his name, I can't remember his name now, but he's released the album, he's very, very big, Louis Capaldi, that's his name, and his album Divinely Uninspired to a Hellish Extent. So you've got 4 references to hell, which are all being heavily promoted in the media, all in the same time frame. Now, of course, someone might say, well, that's just a coincidence. But I know the music industry, and I know how it works, and I know how it's being used, and I know how the media is being used for the purposes of putting out certain messages, especially to young kids. And young kids trust the music industry. They don't think it's some kind of threatening or some kind of industry with a negative agenda. They just think it's pop music. It's just artists expressing themselves. But when you understand that the music industry goes out and finds people with a good voice to sing the songs that they want children to hear. So I might, if I'm writing songs with a negative or a specific agenda, and I want them to get into the ears and eyes of young kids, I think, right, okay, well, obviously I need a singer, so you just go out and find a singer. There's millions of young people out there who want to become famous and who will sing anything that you pay them to sing. And this is now the case with a lot of these artists. They're not writing their own songs, even though they may say they are, but they've been given the music and the lyrics and the words and the songs to sing, and they're getting paid to do so. So basically they're selling their souls to the devil just for their message to reach out and be heard by young people. And of course these young singers get fame and they get notoriety and they get money, but they have sold their soul to the music industry. And this is happening on an unbelievable scale, more than you can understand. I can't tell you how many songs I listen to on public radio, and I'm in Portugal, okay, so most of the music on the radio now in Portugal is English and American songs, and the number of them which are singing these pessimistic messages of darkness, messages of hopelessness and despair and having no light and no positivity and nothing good in life, it's the majority. And I listen very carefully. I'm not just a paranoid and anxious parent. I'm paying attention to what's being put out in the media.